just wanted to capture this awareness. I was reflecting on the dream again. The part about where I felt like I was a teenager towards the end, and then I'm cutting myself, cutting my legs with a razor. And the feeling that it felt, I was doing 2 on each side. And this leg, the right leg, was more numb. And the left, I felt it a little more. The burn, the pain as I cut myself. And I almost didn't want to. There was this feeling of like, it was easier on this leg, but then on this leg it was, it hurt a little more. And just the feeling that it was like I was doing it and I could see the knife go through my skin and the blood come out and the pain. And then I look up and I see the little me with the doctor, and the doctor's putting, but it was non-traditional, not a typical doctor. It was a, like, I knew it was a doctor. They were dressed as a doctor, but the practice, the healing was non-traditional, non-conventional, it was just like una pomada over the wound. But I'm looking at myself and I know I'm a teenager, but in my, how the visual projection of me is the little girl of me, the little me, and with these wounds that are being nurtured or being taken care of. So that stuck a little bit. And I remember, I mean, I was never a cutter. I remember thinking about it. I remember having the thought about it and wondering about it. And, you know, just what I know about it, right? The pain, just, that pain is a distraction from the emotional pain. And so I was just thinking about that and just being a teenager. And so I was showering. You know, all of my great ideas come when I'm showering. I was showering and I was looking at my hair. I was looking at my body hair and checking out my body hair and on my legs. I've let it grow, you know, and just how I'm washing myself. And then realizing that I've decided to shave. I've decided to shave for my sister's wedding. My loved one's wedding. For my loved one's wedding. And I'm not gonna tell her. I'm gonna surprise her. Because I realized as I was shaving, I was like, you know, my hair grows back. It can always grow back, right? Like, I know who I am. There's more comfort with who I am and who I'm becoming, right? Embracing this hairy version of me, right? But realizing my hair can grow back, right? And then thinking about my sister, my loved one, on this special day for her, right? And how she's meeting me halfway and being open, right? And just kind of be like, okay, you know, that's how you are, fine. She's trying to get used to the idea. And I'm thinking, like, my hair can always grow back, right? What's one day? It's not, and then that's when I realized, I'm like, it's not, no me va a quitar nada. Like, it's not gonna take anything from me because I know who I am. That's the thing. So I thought about more teenagers and that time in my life, and this desire for independence, this desire for separation, right? Of where we're coming from, this desire for self-expression, right? And discovering who I am and realizing, right? I never got that chance to do that, really. I mean, I did, but half-assed. Never really fully embraced it because there was always that judgment that like, that finger of like, shouldn't be doing that, right? I mean, I didn't get my first tattoo until I was that was 27, 28, when because that's when I realized, I'm like, I'm not bound to, like, these rules. But I always wanted a tattoo. And it was when I had my depressive episode, and I mean, you don't know depression. I mean, the heaviness that it you don't know it until you experience it. And it just, the heaviness of my body on the bed, and it feeling like I'm just sinking, like that's how heavy it felt. And not being able to have the enough energy to get out of bed. It's just the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. And I've mentioned it, I've talked about it. So my tattoo, if I haven't already, I think I have, is in my calf, or between, I don't know what part of the body it's called. But it's a bird. It's a bird, and it says, "Live life passionately." So to remind myself, whenever I get stuck sitting, get your ass up, Yubi. Live your life passionately, right? Create it for yourself. It's funny how that was a statement that came out, and then reading the fact that, my North Node is in Leo. I'm supposed to embrace passion in my life, but me being the creator of it, right? It's just funny. So anyway, I was just thinking about that experience of, teenagers, and the youth, and the desire for separation from what was, for something better, for something more. But because it's different than where we came from, right? There's judgment, there's trying to pull people back. No, you're going too far, you're going to get lost, right? When it's actually the opposite. And the fear of the people before us, right? That we're going to stray. and and then thinking about the religious organizations and the systems that are in place to try to maintain and keep, right? And not give us permission to expand. Thinking about my ex-friend, right? She's Mormon, and how they entertain all the kids. They have all these programs before and after school. It's just in the church to prevent them from expanding, right? Getting lost. So I was thinking about my body here, and just remembering like how offensive it was for me when I was being told what to wear, what not to wear, and I felt feeling controlled, right? Feeling controlled because the desire was to expand and to do things differently. So as I was showering, I realized, I was like, I can shave my legs. My hair will always grow back. I know who I am. My sense of security of who I am is so much so that it doesn't matter. It's starting not to matter as much in terms of, meeting other people halfway, or no me quita who I am now, right? But, growing up, you're still trying to find your way. So yes, it is going to feel like I'm taking a part of me. So it totally makes sense. Anyways, as I was showering, I was paying attention to my hair, and just being grateful, right, that I'm having this experience with my hair in the shower. So one of the exercises that I tell a lot of my clients who struggle with trauma, when it comes to their image, their body image, or they have struggles with self-care in general because they were teased about their body and they can't show them, like, I encourage them to have experiences in the shower or in the restroom with themselves, depending on where their starting point is, right? I always ask, do you take baths? Do you take baths or showers? And you have a full-length mirror, short, mirror. So I say, because we all, for the most part, take showers. So I'm like, if that's your starting point, where you're just comfortable taking a shower, because I have clients that aren't comfortable taking baths, so I'm like, that's fine. Let's just work with the shower. And I tell them, as you're showering and lathering yourself, slow down your pace, slow down that process, and shower with more intention, like scrub with more intention, and look at where you're scrubbing, and look at the grooves in your skin, and your moles, and your hair, and just just slow that process down and immerse yourself in that experience that you're scrubbing off the old to allow for the new, right? And the blood, the dead cells, skin cells, and as you're lathering your hair, right? Like let the bubbles, and feel the sensation, and just kind of learn to love your body, right? Because I've had clients where like I'm not comfortable taking a bath because you have to sit with yourself. Well, aside, depending on how you view it, like, oh, how can you sit in your filth? It's like, okay, well, shower first and then you take a bath. So you're not filthy, you're just in clean water. And I've done both. I've taken bath after I shower, and I just sit, and then I still scrub. Like I have this other softer scrub that's more lotiony in the shower, and I'll put a salt balm in there and just play with like bubble, like I just entertain myself, right? And graze my fingers on my skin, and just kind of like appreciate the process, the experience, the time to be able to do that, right? For those who have the time. But just learning to love your body all over again, right? So I was thinking about that, just the mind shift for myself, that I can shave if I want to, it'll grow back. And realizing, right, for my sister, this one moment in time that certain moments, cycles will repeat, right? But they won't look the same. But moments, right? Moments in time, the details of it, those don't repeat. Those don't repeat. Every sunset's always going to look a little different, right? The clouds are going to be in a different position. It's about savoring that moment. So, I made that decision. The other thing that came to mind, clothes. So, I went on a little shopping spree. Second shopping spree. Unplanned shopping spree. Went to Target. And they had some clothes that was on sale. I was like, oh, and I wanted bras. So I realized that I was shopping in the guy section. I don't even think this particular Target has it. Like, it's not. I don't think it was. I didn't notice big signs that say women, kids, like they used to, right? I don't remember it. I don't remember it being labeled, but I could have totally dismissed it. But I was in the guy section. It was clearly the guy section because of the type of clothing. So I usually buy clothes. I tend to also buy clothes in that section because I like the shirts. And there was another shirt that I wanted to get, but I had forgotten how it was like to buy guy clothes. I used to do it more. And guy clothes, just clothes that are more masculine, I guess. So this shirt is one of them. And I was upset that I didn't have it in the other section. A good day for a good day. And I mentioned that I tend to have more masculine energy within me. And this whole storytelling has been me embracing my feminine side and balancing that out for myself, right? And now going back, I'm like, oh, like that's right, I used to buy clothes in this section. So I'm like looking through this section. There were some guys there and they were looking at me. And I remember a time when they didn't have like the cool like Led Zeppelin and Nirvana shirts. It was only in the guys section, right, where I'm from. And I remember I would always shop there because they didn't have it in the girls section. I remember being so pissed. I'm like, oh, they don't have it here. So I was just thinking about that too, just this balance, right, of the feminine and the masculine within. And it's not until you hear someone being vulnerable about a part of their life that you then become more comfortable with that part of your life as well, because you realize you're not alone. And then realizing, right, this whole process for me of being vulnerable in public, right, and documenting it and putting it out there so that people don't feel alone with wherever they are, wherever you are, right? And thinking about the storytelling, how I'm sharing stories and how I share stories with my clients. They don't realize that I'm sharing stories of each other. I don't put any identifying label. I'm just sharing stories. But it's because it's connected to them. Like there's a connection, and there's this, where we don't have to dive deep unless they're wanting to dive deep into their own stories. Those that are more guarded, I share other stories in general, and there's a feeling of like, I'm not alone. Okay, right? And I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. I can accept this truth for me a little more versus putting it away or kind of keeping it at a distance because I think no one else is experiencing it. So I must be different. Something must be wrong with me until someone else opens up. Then it's like, oh, okay, I can accept this part of me a little more, right? I can accept my truth, this version of my truth in the moment, because I know that my truth will continuously evolve and change. I was thinking about the power of storytelling through this process. There was something else, but I can't put my finger on it. Just power of storytelling and owning your truth in that moment. Knowing that it'll be different in the next, and that's okay. You can always change your mind. You can always change your mind. Yeah. That's all. I have stuff to do. I'm gonna call my dad today. Check in, but yeah. Okay.
Hey you, my name is Yubi and I use she, they pronouns, and you've just finished watching a clip from my video diary entries where I'm documenting my healing journey as I learn how to navigate my spiritual awakening. I have learned that this experience and process is unique to each and every one of us in whatever way we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of formal mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself as these experiences unfold, and really inviting you along for the ride. Please know that there is a time gap between when these videos post and my real timeline, and also that these clips build upon each other similar to chapters in a book. So if you find yourself lost or confused, feel free to click on the playlist section or the link below, where you can jump around, check out the other chapters, and or catch up. Also, please know that you're more than welcome to check out my website, www.youbecominghealed.com, where I've gathered all of this information, my background experience and education, to create online self-paced courses to help you on your healing journey wherever you are. You're also more than welcome to check out my other YouTube channel at You Becoming Healed, where I've entertained a podcast, including clips from these courses so that I can make this content accessible to more and more people. Please click like, subscribe, and share this content so again it reaches more people, with the hopes that other people will resonate and connect with the healing journey and the stories shared so that they don't feel alone in their own process. I thank you in advance. I'm grateful to you, and I wish you well.